Hello everyone, and welcome back to Saber Outdoors. I, of course, am your wonderful host, Mark Alexander, and today we're building stuff, we're making stuff. We're taking junk and we're making it into treasures. That's what we're doing. So guys, we are making a couple of hobo stoves. So, what's a hobo stove? Well, a hobo stove, in my opinion, that's a stove that you either have a handle or you can put a handle on in order to take it places. Now, so this comes with its own handle. This had a handle on it. I took it off. So, guys, I only had a piece of coat hanger on it. If you can't imagine coat hanger being on this, I can't help you. So, why am I building new ones? Why not? I already have hobo stoves. Why do I need more? Well, hobo stoves are usually made out of really thin metal, and if you look down into this hobo stove, there's no grate inside of it. So we need to replace that, and I'll show you how to do that. And for this one, you see this side, pretty okay, but this side, there's kind of a big honking hole in it. So this is burnt out and no longer safe to use as a hobo stove. I could probably still use it for if I was going to be in an area that I didn't have to worry about my stove spilling the coals out into the fire, out into, you know, the outside environment. But guys, I have new cans to make hobo stoves, a new can to make a big hobo stove, and you can see fits perfectly. You can take the handle, take it right off, and I'll show you more about that as we're building. But guys, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my table kind of cleared off. I'll show you what tools I'm using to make these, because you use different tools for both of these, and it's not anything super complicated. And guys, some of these aren't probably the best tools for this, but guys, we're functional, not professional. So we're gonna go off of this little stove first. Now, I have used this stove over and over again for years at this point, years. And I have a new top from a different can. See, the top is inside of this can, and I left the top on this can in order to show you, like, it's just the top. Now, if you wanted to be fancy, you could just leave this top on where you could shut this, but after a little while, you're gonna work it back and forth enough that that's gonna break off. So that's not the best, and yes, you can come up with solutions for that. I'm not coming up with a solution for that because I don't want to. So for this, we're gonna make a grate for it. Now, the grate's made the same no matter which one of these you're using. You take, and what I do, I just have a socket. It's not a particular size, but I take my socket and I put underneath of it, and I just have a regular screwdriver. This is a Phillips screwdriver. For those that don't know, that's a crossways screwdriver. And I take my screwdriver and I put it on there, and I take my hammer and I go, and I punch me a hole. Boom. Now, you don't have to have a socket for this. You could do this on the ground, and then it don't matter what's behind it. But if I were to do this on the table, I'd just be driving this through my table. And guys, I've already hurt my table enough doing things for this particular thing, so I'm trying to be nice to my table. So guys, I'm gonna punch some holes in this, and I'll show you the after of when I'm finished with it. So you hold still. We'll be right back to our usually scheduled programming. And before I start that, the nice thing about these, they have circles, so that you can easily make your holes the same width apart, and you can pick however many holes you want to put in this. I'll show you afterwards how many I put in mine. Be right back. All right, guys, so here is our grate. We've just got a bunch of holes punched in it. I didn't, you know, I put 4 in this inner ring, 4 in the next ring, and then the outer ring, I just basically split the difference and put holes. But guys, all we got to do now, throw it down in there. Boom. And see how nice and tight that is? Now, if we needed to, say, get that out for some reason, we just dump it out. Boom, over with. Now, how we get these holes in it? We use something from your kitchen. We use an old school can opener. So we do that. Now, you might notice I have legs on this. Legs, I'm wiping the sweat off me because I'm sweating buckets. Okay, back to business. So I have legs on this. Now I made those legs with this same deal here. These are 3/8 bolts that I have put in. Now I also have bolts down in there. I have bolts that hold my grate right about there, so that I have a little bit of difference between the very bottom, because this is going to burn out fast because there's going to be fire directly on top of it. So we throw it down in there, and we still have all this room right here for that air to come in. And all those holes are more than enough for the air to get in and get to the fire. So how do we get these holes? Well, first thing we do, we take our piece that we're going to use for a grate out. Why? There's randomly there is something in here. I don't know. We're just going to throw that in that other for now. But this is the top from this same can, and this is going to be our grate. So when we finish this up, get it all done, we'll put the grate in it. I'm not going to put legs on this one just yet because I don't have the bolts. Now, if you burn this out, these bolts are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. You could take these bolts out, put it into a new can, you're back on the road. But guys, on the bottom, you'll hook this piece right here in, and then you will just pull up, and these are not the best, but you'll just take and fold it down just like that. And I usually put 8 on the bottom and 8 on the top, and I'll show you later why we put those on the top. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put my holes in. You stay close. All right, guys, we've got all of our pieces done. Now, that'll provide you more than enough air to get to your fire. On my old stove, I actually did the same on the bottom. I put 8 more holes in the very bottom. The nice thing about making your own stuff, you don't have to do it any particular way. You can decide this one will be different than my last one, because I don't think it needs another 8 holes. I don't think there's going to be enough air draw that it's going to need 8 more holes. Nor am I going to put these holes in the middle. I put little teeny holes in the middle. Now what I am going to do again, I'm going to put holes in the top. Now this you have to be careful about, because the bottom has this to support it. The top does not. So you might actually deform your top if you're not careful, but you do the same as before. And you know, just for my own feeling, I'm going to make sure that these line up just because I want to. There's no rule that says I have to, but I want to. So we're gonna get that going, and I'm actually gonna carry that on through. And see, now you have this sharp thing. So we take our pliers and we take that sharp piece and we round it on over and fold it down. And that's going to be plenty safe. You can see it's not in the way, it's not a problem. And we just make sure that our sides are not deformed. And we're going to move on to our next one. I'm going to do that all the way around. I'll show you when I'm finished. All right, guys, so I've got my holes all the way around the top. And guys, there's one more thing to do in order to get this ready to receive. Now, of course, you'll have to make your grate, and a good way to see if the top is deformed is to see if your grate will drop through it. Now, my grate drops plenty far down. Excuse my coughing. But guys, there's one more thing to do in order to get this ready, and that's to take our handy dandy piece of thing here, and I use this very outside ridge as my jumping off point, and I'm going to take and I'm going to put 8 holes in this. So we're going to take our hammer and go. And guys, we're going to take our screwdriver and just wallow that just a tiny bit. Now, I'm making these holes for these legs. Now, I'm not going to put those legs in today, but it'll be ready to accept legs when I get ready for that step. And make sure to wallow it just a tiny bit. Get it on there. This doesn't have to be precise. Now, these 4 are going to be for the legs sticking up. Now, the next 4 are going to be what's going to hold my grate from being right on the bottom. So we're going to take and go about even distance. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're functional, not professional. We just boom, hit it, move it to the next one, put it in there, waller it just a little bit. I love that word, waller. And boom, we've got all the holes ready to accept our legs if we decide to put them on. You know, there's no rules with this. You don't have to put legs on these. You don't have to put a grate in these. You could use this just like it is. You could just take you a piece of coat hanger and put a handle on it. I'm not going to show you how to do that. Surely you understand the concept of bending a piece of wire here over, bend another piece of wire there so you have a handle. But that's got this stove done, functionally done. Now, if I needed to, like say this is the great reason for this. See, it also fits perfectly. If this is the grate that we are using, if this is the can we're using, burn it before you cook on it. And the reason that we do that, sometimes these have chemicals, these have plastics, these have, this particular one, there's glue on the sides. We want to burn all that off before we cook something in, on, or around this. And the same's true when we fix this one. We want to burn all the stuff off this before we use it to cook with. And that doesn't take a crazy amount of time, nor a crazy amount of wood. But guys, that's this one done. So we're gonna get all these little cans, we're gonna set them off to the side. We're gonna start working on the big one. Oh, that's a log. I about died. All right, guys, so we have a big one of these. So you might be saying, well, isn't it gonna be the same process? No, 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 no. This this is going to be a little bit different. So on the other one, we used this tool, and we used a screwdriver to punch our holes. Guys, this is a lot thicker steel, and that's going to purchase us two things. One, that means that our vessel is going to last us longer, and we can put a bigger, heavier, more intense fire inside of this. But guys, we take, I don't know what this tool's called. I found it at a yard sale and I was like, yes, I would like that. So we're gonna take this tool and we're gonna start on this seam on this ash bucket. This is just a metal ash bucket from Walmart. They cost like 20 bucks. 20 bucks for a mobile fire pit is not bad. But guys, I'm gonna go do one more modification, be right back. All right, ta-da, I'm back. So guys, I took a piece of tape and I marked it so that I have a consistent hole wherever it is that I put holes. Now, whenever you're using one of these, there's two places to avoid. It's pretty easy to realize why. Avoid the seams on both sides, because this is double thick. It's going to be hard to get through. So all we're going to do is punch a hole directly next to those, and we're just going to get it lined up as good as we can, and stop it where that tape is at. And that way we can be sure we haven't overdone what we wanted to do. And then we simply take our hammer and knock it out if we hit it inside a little bit, and that's okay. That's not going to hurt a thing. Now we're just to this side of this seam, so we're going to be that same side on this side. And this doesn't have to be perfect. We're functional. I cannot stress that enough. Boom. And I know that I've got the same size hole on both sides. We'll flip it over. We'll kind of make sure that it's reasonably the same again. And guys, we're gonna kind of just guesstimate where halfway between that mark is. So it's round about there. So we're gonna take our punch, boom, hole, done. Now, could you do this with a drill? Yeah. Would it be this fun? Probably not, because I like to hit on stuff. I'm the kid that, like, when you gave me the square block that didn't fit into the round hole, I was like, okay, let me get my pocket knife out, let me shave a little off to this side, let me take my hammer, and let me just knock that dude through, because I can get this to work. I can make this okay. But guys, I'm gonna put 8 holes on that seam all the way around, and then I'll get back with you. All right guys, we got 8 holes in that seam right there. Now guys, we're gonna take and put another 8 holes alternately. So where these holes are here, I'm gonna put one in the middle of what these are, right almost halfway up this thing. And if I care about being consistent, I'll take the very bottom of this, where this rubber begins on my handle. I'll take and mark it just like that, and that way I can have a more consistent spot. Boom. And like before, you see there's a little dent in the side, so we flip it over and we just tap that out, and you can see it came out just fine. Now we're gonna do that same move all the way around, and then I'll get back with you. All right, guys, so we've got our holes all the way around. Now, using something like this does make sharp pieces on the inside, but guys, are you really reaching down in there where the fire's at too regular? I think not. Now with this, it has a thick enough bottom that I don't need to put a grate in it, although you could fabricate a grate to go in this if you wanted to. I just don't, because why? But now this has the ability, when I have a fire in it, this will give the fire enough air to be okay. But when I put the top on this and I do like that, that fire is gonna die. That fire, when I set that down and I walk away, I don't have to worry about the wind picking it up and taking embers off to start a forest fire. I don't have to worry about rain if rain is an issue. I can put my fire to bed at night doing this, and I will have, like this one, even as badly rotted as it is, I still have dry coals inside of this that makes life so much easier to start. Also too, you can store wood inside of your fire pit, so that when you get to your place, if it's been raining, if it's going to rain, if it's somewhere if it's somewhere where there's not a lot of wood available, say you're going to a park or something like that, you can actually stuff that full of wood, and then boom, as soon as you get to where you're going, you're ready to go. There's no, we got to gather wood up, we've got to chop and split and kindle in and this and that and bleh. But guys, I think it's time to prove concept. So I am going to put a fire inside of this, and I'm going to cook something. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so we've got our fire in here. It's been burning for a little while. I told you to burn that stuff off of everything. So by now that that grill grate should be good and burnt off. Guys, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to prove concept. So we just got a couple of marshmallows, and you want to know where they're going to end up being? Right here in my chest pocket. That's a good clean place for them to be. I've got my fire here. All I'm using for my fire is some cardboard to get it going, some twigs, and I've got some little pieces of wood. And I'm just gonna throw me these pieces of wood. I'm not stacking them in any particular way. And I've got some just hand sanitizer. Just squirt it in your hand, rub it real good. That way you're good and clean, and then just pump a few pumps onto the fire and blow on it a little bit. Now, of course, alcohol burns clear, so you don't see the flames, but the flames are here, the flames are going, and I'm just gonna let them do their thing. I have an extendo thing. Now, I don't need it to be extendable. I just need it to be enough to keep me out of the fire. We're gonna put us a thing here. We're gonna rest it against this, and our fire is not wanting to come up real good for some reason. Let me put some more fuel on the fire and get it kind of built up, and then I'll go to cooking my marshmallow. Woo, hello. So guys, we're just gonna start working on cooking our marshmallow. All right, guys, that's plenty good enough for me. I love a good marshmallow. But guys, that's all it is for this video. Proof of concept. You can use this to cook with. If I work with this, I can get this fire up good and big. It's a little smoky, but you know, hey, it works. It was enough to cook a marshmallow, which means I could use this to cook anything I particularly decide to. I would need more fire if I were going to put something directly on top of this, because right now it's so weak that I would just end up smoking it out. But like, if I wanted to set this somewhere, all I have to do is just hook it, and boom, I can pick this up and I can set it in my other fire pit, take my lid, and just boom, and then I don't have to think about it no more. But guys, if you want to build one of these, it's easy money, easy money. But that's all there is to this video, so I'm just going to give you usual YouTube things: like, share, subscribe, comment, please like, I'm going to say it twice, and hit that bell notification. It's so important that you do that for me. It helps me so much. It costs you nothing. But guys, we'll see you somewhere in the woods or on the water.